Hello, everybody. My name is Peter. Welcome to my Java, Spring, and AWS training. Before the training, we need to set up our environment on your laptop. So the first section is the environment setup. Okay. So this is a list of softwares you need to download it and install it on your local laptop. So in the whole training, I will use the Windows system, but if you use Apple or Linux or Unix machine, so there's a separate version for each software. We will talk about later, but I strongly suggest you to use the Windows system because if you use other system like Apple or Linux, uh, I may not be able to answer your questions for some issues. Let's go ahead. So we need to install Java 8. Now the current Java version may be Java 17 or Java 18, the new version, but we will start from the Java 8. This is the most popular version in the current industry. Yeah, if I upgrade to the newer version like Java 17 or Java 18, I will add another session to talk about some new features. But in the whole training, we will use Java 8. And then Eclipse is a Java IDE, it's a development tool. We use Eclipse Oxygen version. Of course, Eclipse also have a very newer version, but we still use this version. This is a stable version that I prefer. Okay. And then Git is a repository control tool. So you can manage your code in your Git repository. We will talk about it later. And the Maven is a build tool. Maven can build your project, and you need a Maven, but the Eclipse itself contains Maven. But we need a command line of Maven, so you need to install a Maven. And SoapUI is a tool to test your REST API or SOAP API. When we talk about the Spring Boot or Spring REST API, we will use SoapUI to test our code. Notepad++ is a strengthened version of Notepad. Notepad is a very good text editor, but the Notepad++ is even better. So I strongly suggest you to download Notepad++. It will be widely used in our training. Putty and WinSCP, the two tools, Putty and WinSCP, will be used in AWS when we create an EC2 instance and we want to connect with EC2 instance. We need to use Putty and WinSCP to connect or upload files. And this is optional for Docker desktop. Docker is a container on a virtual machine. This one I say is optional because Docker Desktop can only be installed on Windows Professional Edition. I'm not sure whether it can be installed on Apple or Linux system, but for Windows, I know if you have your personal laptop, you may only have the Windows Home Edition, but this Docker Desktop will be can only be installed under the Windows Professional Edition. Okay. Now this is a list of softwares. Now let's move ahead. Now install Java 8. It's very straightforward. You go to this link. Let me copy this. You go to this link. Yeah. Yeah, you will see the Java SE 8 download, and you scroll down. So there are lots of versions there for Linux. It's also for the Mac OS, and then the last one is for Windows. So what we need is this Windows x64 installer. You can click this link to install the Java 8. After you click this link, there's a small version like 333. Mine is an earlier version. So like I have a, let me show you my version is from software. So my Java will be, yeah, it's 171. So you can download the latest version 333, and then you just double click the downloaded file, as I mentioned in the slides, and then you follow the instruction. It's very simple and straightforward, and you can download it. You can use all the default options. So it will be downloaded under this program files Java. Okay. And after you download it, there's a very important thing you need to do. That is, you need to add your environment variables. So here you can click settings, and you search for environment, edit system environment variables. You click this one, and you click environment variables. So here you need to add Java home. And so if you don't know how to add, you can use the new, and you give a variable name like Java home, and then the value is the root value of your Java installed folder. The folder usually is by default will be under program files, and there's Java, right? You go to this folder, right? This one. So you click this one, copy it, and then input here. That's it. So this is very, very important. You need to add the Java home, Java underscore home variable in your system variables. Okay. Now I already have it. I have Java home. I already have that now, so I can cancel it. That's one thing. So this one, then you install Java. If you want to verify you install Java, you can go to command line and you see Java-version. So this is my version, and your version should be underscore 333 if you downloaded that file. Okay, this is Java. Next is Eclipse. So it's also very straightforward. You copy this link, okay, and then you go to this web page. Because the Eclipse web page is also updated, so the small version could be different. So you can see this is Oxygen 3A package. So you can click this one. There's Eclipse ID for Java EE developer. You don't do this one, right? You don't go to the Java developer. You have to go to Java EE developer, and then there's a 2-bit. There's a x68 64. You can click this one. You click this one. You can download. This is a zip file. The zip file, if you unload it, let me show you. If you do this one, this is a zip file, and you can unzip it. It will take some time. And if you unzip it, you go to the link. There's a Eclipse. There's a exe file. There's an application for this one. You can go to this Eclipse and double click it. Oh, sorry. So this is I think there's a this is an unzipped file. Okay. This is an unzipped file. So you can double click this Eclipse to start Eclipse. Okay. Now, after you download it, then you need to install AWS Toolkit and YAML edit plugin. The plugin I will talk about later. Before that, I suggest you to create an empty folder as your workspace. For example, I create my workspace as for example, let's show the procedure. You can new some folder like temp. Okay. This is your workspace. You can also create it under any of your folder. Okay. And then if you do the run the Eclipse, okay, you can use browse to go to the desktop. Then there should be a temp folder. This desktop temp, okay, and you can launch it. Okay, you can uncheck this always show welcome startup. If you don't uncheck it, every time it will show this page. If you uncheck it, then you go to the workbench. Okay, so this is Eclipse. Now, after you launch this Eclipse successfully, then we have to install two things. Okay, how to install it? Follow the instruction. You can select help, Eclipse Marketplace, and search AWS. Okay. So because we need to train AWS, so we need an AWS plugin in Eclipse. So you can click Windows, help, Eclipse Marketplace here. There's a pop-up window. So if you search AWS, so there's AWS toolkit for Eclipse 2.0. You click install, it will install it. You just follow the instruction. It may require you to restart Eclipse. It doesn't matter. So you just restart it. This one will be installed. Okay. And another one is YAML editor. Okay. If you search this one, there's a YAML editor. You also click install to follow instructions. This is very simple and straightforward. You may need to restart the Eclipse. So this is the two plugins. Now I close it. So I will, for me, I create a shortcut of my Eclipse, which already installed the two softwares. So if I installed the two plugins, what happens is like this. Oh, sorry. Cancel it. This is my Eclipse. Then in the help marketplace, if I successfully installed the two plugins, AWS. So you can see it's called installed with D, means I already have this one. If I search for YAML editor, it's installed. So the two plugins are very useful and very important in our training. So make sure you install the two plugins successfully. Okay. This is my current used Eclipse. Eclipse is a very good tool. So it's a zip version, and you can unzip it. So you don't worry. You don't have to worry about it. If you have something wrong, for example, if your Eclipse is crashed, you can download it again and download and clean all the previous version and unzip it again and follow the same process to rebuild your workspace. Okay. So this is a green version of Eclipse. Now let's come back. This is Eclipse. So we'll show this one. Okay, I already have the screenshot for you. Next, let's say install Git. Install Git. So this is a URL. This is a Windows version. Yeah. So if you only see download, there could be different versions. So like Mac OS, Windows, Linux. So if you click Windows, you go to the Windows version. Then you need to have this one. You click standalone installer here. Okay. So from my here is a standalone installer, 4-bit Git for Windows setup. You click it, and you have a downloaded file, and then you will get this file. Let's see, it's Git, this file, and you double click it and follow the instruction. You will have Git. So to make sure the Git is working, so you can click Git version. Okay, this is Git version. The sub version could be different. So Git is also updating their new versions. So this is this Java is only one dash. This is the dash dash. This is a Git version. Okay. Now come back to this one. So this is install Git. Very simple. Now next is install Maven. You also go to the Maven download page. So should be very careful. First time, if people see lots of files, you don't know which file is correct. Now I will tell you this file. This link is Apache Maven 3.8.8.6 bin.zip. It's a binary version. You need to download this one. You click this one. This is also a zip file, and you can unzip it. This is a zip file, and you can unzip it to some empty folder. And I put my all the open source under this C open source folder, and you can have your own preference, and it doesn't matter. But after you install Maven, the very important thing is there are two things to be done after you install Maven. That is, the first thing, in the settings, you need to add environment variables. Add environment variables. And the same thing as Java home, you need to add two variables. One is called m2 home, m2 underscore home with your root folder of your Maven. You can unzip to some folder. This is a root folder. And this is a Maven underscore home here. This is very important. That's one thing. The second thing is the path. If you move down, you can see the path. You can edit the path. So you need to add the bin folder, this folder, this one, to add. If there's no this folder, you can add a new folder. Use new to new to create a new field and to add this link to that. After you have this one, then if you go to your command line, you can say mvn -- version. So here you can be see my version is the older version is 3.6. Now you can download 3.8. That doesn't matter. Okay, this is your Maven. This is your Maven. So if you see this one, it means your Maven is installed successfully. That's Maven. Now next is SoapUI. SoapUI is very straightforward. You copy this one. This is a download URL. Okay. Then you download SoapUI open source. You go to this one. You click this one, it will download the file. And this file you can run this is an exe file. You can run the download this file and install it automatically. This or use the default option. And after you finish downloading, they will add an icon here. Icon is like this. This is SoapUI icon. So you double click it. This is SoapUI. Yeah. So this is some project I built before. So you can click this one. This is we will explain later how to use SoapUI. That's our future training. Okay. To make sure this SoapUI is working now. So then, if you see this window, it means your SoapUI is installed successfully. That's SoapUI. Okay, I can exit it. Now let's come back to the next software. Next is Notepad++. So it's also very straightforward. You go to the download page. Actually, you can also search by your own. You just input Notepad++, and then it will show the link from Google. Okay. So you download this one, Notepad++, the latest version. Okay. This is the latest version. You can download it, and then you just install it. So by all the default edition, your Notepad will be installed under this program's x68. And let's see, yeah, this is Notepad. You will be under this folder. And after that, there's a very important thing, very, very important. You need to download another JSON viewer because we need to know to view the JSON in a good format. So the procedure is then you go to this link. This is a plugin. Go to this link. So you can click download, and it will have a JSON viewer. Okay. And yeah, it will start shortly. So this is a very small one. So if you go to your download, there's a JSON viewer. If you unzip it, there's a DLL. See, mpp JSON viewer.dll file. This file you just use the copy and go back to the Notepad++ and the plugins. And the plugins, you need to create a folder called the mpp JSON viewer, and in the JSON viewer, you copy this file. I already have that. So what happens is, if you have all of those things and you open your Notepad++, so then you can have Notepad++, right? So this is Notepad++. So then in the plugins, you have a JSON viewer, and you can format JSON. This is very good. For example, if I write a JSON file with like name, Alice, this is a JSON file with curly brace. So this is a string. If I select this string and in the plugin I use JSON viewer and format JSON, it will have this good format. Okay. This is very important. It's very helpful for our training. So in our training, because we will talk about the Spring REST API, all the data formats are in JSON. So JSON, the full name is JSON is JavaScript Object Notation. And for this JSON, we may show the result on the notepad. But if without the JSON viewer, it's only one string. So with JSON viewer, you can format the JSON. We have very clear view of the JSON data. Now, this is about Notepad++. Now, next is PuTTY. PuTTY is very straightforward. You just go to the link and download the PuTTY and double-click the downloaded file and install it. That's it. Okay. And then after you install PuTTY, you can see the PuTTY or PuTTYGen. There are two applications. One is called PuTTY and the other is called PuTTYGen. For the details, we will explain later when we move to the AWS training. Okay. Next is WinSCP. The same thing, you go to the link, you download the WinSCP, the latest version, and then you just run the downloaded file, and it will be downloaded and installed. Okay. And then you can have WinSCP in your command line, WinSCP here. You can click it, and then WinSCP will be launched. And how to use it, and also we will talk about later when we move to the AWS training. Okay, this is WinSCP. So this is Docker. Docker can only be installed under Windows Professional version. Okay, this is download the link, and you can download the Docker desktop. If you download it successfully, and you will see the Docker. This is the Docker desktop here. There's an icon here, and if you double click it, and Docker will be started, and then from the right button, you will see this is say an update will be updated. This is Docker running here. It will take some time. For the Docker, how to use Docker, I will also talk about later. Even you don't have Docker to build the image. Docker is a container that to build the image for your application. Even if you don't have Docker, we have an alternative way to build a Docker image under the EC2 instance in the AWS. AWS can provide this environment for us, but this is a remote one, not a local one. This Docker is for the local building of your application image. Okay, this is Docker. Now, next is also very important. For this training, as a homework, we need two things. One is HackerRank. Okay, everybody can register an account with a free account for HackerRank. You don't have to input your credit card. Okay, go to your HackerRank. So if you have a Gmail address, you can just log in. Okay, if you have your Gmail address, you can sign up with HackerRank with your Gmail, or you can build your own customized username and password. So this is totally free. So my requirement is before you finish this training, you need to do two things. One is for Java. Okay. So the Java, they have 64 questions. You need to finish all the questions. But if you don't understand some Java concept, you can go through my Java training. And after that, you need to finish all the Java things, and you need to finish this test, and you can get a Java certificate. This is very, very simple. There's no algorithm, no data structure, just simple Java language preference. This is Java. Another thing is problem solving. So each question has some point, maybe 10 points, 15 points. The difficult question maybe have like 40 points or 50 points. So in the problem solving, there are some badges. So starting from 1 star, then at most there are 6 stars. So you need to get 2,200 points, 2200, to get the 6 badges, 6 points to get the badge, the golden badge. So that's a minimum requirement. I think it's not difficult. If you continue practicing for the coding, then you will be qualified for an enterprise project in some good companies. So this is the training requirement. You need to get the Java 64 questions finished, and at least 2,200 points for problem solving. In the problem solving, let's click it. So it can have some problem solving. We have a basic, and there's difficulty is easy, medium, and hard. Easy questions are very easy. There's no algorithm, no data structure, just a very straightforward solutions. And then for the medium, you may also find a solution for the question, but you may have some timeout for test cases. Okay. Give you an example. Let's say, for example, I have some solved one. Solve me first. Okay, click this one. You can click solved. So there's a requirement here. This is an example, and you input A, input B, and return A plus B. This is a simple one. If you return A plus B, then you can run the code. So the test case will be green. Okay, and then you can submit your code. So they are all test cases. If some test case fails, so the next challenge or get certificate. So if test case fails, you can go to the test case. You can download the test case. You can download test case to see in which test case you failed. There could be some scenario that you never think about. So this will practice your coding skill to think about different cases. And it's also very important, very helpful for your interview in the real project, in the real company. Okay. So this is HackerRank. And one thing, the next is JDoodle. This is an online Java compiler, so it means that you don't have to you don't have to do any local installation. You can run some simple Java code. If you want to test something, for example, I just say system hello world. Then you can execute the code. Yeah, it will say hello world. It will show it's 0.09 seconds. So especially when you want to compare with some sorting algorithm, like bubble sort or quick sort or merge sort, and then you run the same code with the different sorting algorithm, and then you can see the different time elapsed. Okay, that's a very good one. And in my Java training, I will have the Java training in two parts. One is the basic Java programming. This is for language preference. And I will basically use this JDoodle to run all the Java code. And the second one is the Java OOP concept. This is more advanced topics, and it's very helpful for the interview. And then I will use Eclipse. Okay. Now this is about JDoodle. And the Bitbucket. Bitbucket is also, you need to have a you need to register account for Bitbucket. You can use your Gmail account, and you can log in. And to do the repository, you need to use this Bitbucket to learn Git. We will talk about later. Bitbucket. I will have a separate topic, separate video to tell you how to teach you how to use Git command line to connect you to your Bitbucket. That's a separate topic. And then this Bitbucket and AWS sign up. So there are two links to sign up. So for AWS, you need to sign up a free account, and there's a free tier with 1 year free. But you need to input your credit card. You won't be charged in the first year, but in the second year, if you use EC2 or something, then you could be charged. But as a learning purpose, you use your account to create a free AWS account. That's very helpful for the training. Okay. After 1 year, you can close this account. You won't be get any charge. Okay. But be careful. When you register a new account, you really need to input your credit card. Okay. This is online resources. Now, next is class resources. So I created 3 folders in my Bitbucket you can download. And the first one is some common files that we frequently used in our training. The second one is training documents, which contains all my PowerPoint slides and all the other notes, all the tips. And you can always use this one to update your training materials. The third one is a lab. We have some homework. So you can use Git clone to clone your homework. And then during the training, I will give you some assignment. And also, all the training, all my code in the training will be uploaded to my repository, and I will update it during the training. That's all for the environment setting. For any questions, you are welcome to leave comments under my YouTube video. Thank you very much.